Deeper learning encourages students to be active in the learning process rather than passive recipients of information.
In business, it's critically important that you identify a direction and you work towards that direction. What is even more important at the end of the day is that if things aren't working, you change. And you change in a way in which you think they will work. And I think that you're seeing that here now. That's a business practice that every successful business understands.
We're going to have to be the facilitator, the organizer, the planner, and the kids are going to get there in their own way. And I think that's going to be a learning process for a lot of teachers because we're very used to being the controller of everything, and that's going to be difficult and a challenge for a lot of teachers, but I think it's going to be a good change for us.
I'm inspired. I think as teachers, if we are not looking to reinvent ourselves constantly, we're losing the passion that first got us into this field. So I'm extremely excited. I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm curious, I'm a lot of things, but I believe this is the right way to go.
In my opinion, deeper learning is putting student-centered practices at the forefront. It allows students to work higher up in Bloom's taxonomy so that they're collaborating, they're doing some learning together as a learning community. They are making sense of information by building off of one another's ideas. And it's a process in a classroom that kind of unfolds where kids are working on authentic learning tasks that are meaningful and important to them.
The emphasis is really placed on students taking ownership for their learning. There's that reflection piece with the deeper learning where students can be evaluative of their learning, see their struggles, see their successes, and really be reflective on their learning and be critical thinkers.
We've had a much higher increase in students who want to learn the stuff, kids who are asking better questions than it used to just be, well, how do I get an A? And now they're actually asking, well, what would I do to fix this? Or how would I go about doing this instead of just, what do I need to do to get the A? They're engaging with the learning itself instead of just doing it because that's what you're supposed to do.
We're talking about having a set of skills like collaboration, communication, work ethic, or what we call agency, and critical thinking that will act as igniters for the knowledge that students are gaining throughout school to be able to be productive members of our community.
What we're trying to do is the integration of all of those skills coupled with our power standards and our core curriculum standards. The beauty that we're going to have is the teachers that are going to be working together, and coupled with all of those core content standards and power standards and all of these items like collaboration, communication, critical thinking, all of those together are going to help these students move forward. Now, how do we weave them together? We weave them together by thinking about the end first. So what do we want our students to learn? And then what we call backwards design. What do we want them to learn? And then we work backwards from there. How do we integrate communication, collaboration, critical thinking into these projects?
A classroom that's engaged in deeper learning might not look like a traditional classroom. It might be noisy and messy. So we might have some kids working and collaborating together while others are maybe working on a product, while still others might be analyzing some data or doing some questioning. And the furniture might be all over the place because kids are working on different things in the classroom, and so they shift the furniture around to meet the needs of the students. So it might not look like a traditional classroom, it might just look a little messy.
Teachers are still the content experts. They know how to design the lessons. They're just shifting their thinking to provide more opportunities for the students to make sense of the information as opposed to them just telling them, you need to know this for the sake of knowing it. They give students opportunities to learn, fumble through it a little bit, and then bring them back to where they need to be.
Deeper learning will help productively allow kids to struggle through things in order to stretch their thinking. We want to make sure that they're not just given one simple answer for one question that we're normally used to. It's one of those things that we're planting a thought or a process, and the kids can like kind of struggle through that, but they can work collaboratively with others around them. They can ask teachers for questions. That productive struggle is something that they're going to use forever in their life.
Our focus is not only in preparing students for just those specific subject areas, but it's really how those subject areas interact with each other and actually interact within the real world. So we are preparing our students to be successful in the real world, as opposed to simply being an expert in one small area inside the classroom. That's really what this is all about.